DVDs, Hugh Jones, your DVD and Blu-ray baller on a budget, and this is HQ Videos for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a current subscriber, what's up? You're greatly appreciated. Come on in, make yourself at home. This week for my collection video, I wanted to focus on rare out-of-print DVDs and Blu-rays. I have a 3D pick in here, a complete series on DVD, Blu-ray here, DVD there. And I love watching these type of videos on YouTube because I'm constantly out in the wild looking for rare out-of-print movies that are on my list. For example, I'm looking for Airheads on Blu-ray, which is very expensive online. Same with my super ex-girlfriend, Charlie Sheen's DVD, Chase. A little pricey, rather find it in the wild. Same with Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito, and Bad Company with Lawrence Fishburne and Ellen Barkin, just to name a few. And yes, I can get them online, but it makes more sense and it's a little bit more exciting. We can go out in the wild and find them in mint condition for maybe the DVD for 50 cents or $1, or the Blu-ray for $3 or $4. That's part of the fun of going out and searching Goodwills, thrift stores, pawn shops for those kind of buys. And along with the video, I'm going to post how much you'll pay for these videos if you find them today, like on eBay and Amazon. Also, I want to give you 7 tips that I use to acquire somewhat pricey DVDs and Blu-rays at the most reasonable price that I can. Like I said, sometimes as low as 50 cents to $1. So sit back, relax, have a drink of a smoke, and I'll catch you on the other end of this video. Back at the Black Cave, back at the Black Cave. We are back at the motherfucking Black Cave. I'm just going to jump into my first pick here. This is Poltergeist Legacy. This went on for 4 seasons. This was directed by Brad Turner, produced by Penn Densham, written by Robert Marcello. For the first season, the cast was Derek DeLint, Helen Shaver, Martin Cummings, Robbie Chong, Patrick Fitzgerald. The plot behind this: since the beginning of time, mankind has existed between the world of light and the world of darkness. The journal chronicles the work of our secret society known as the Legacy, created to protect the innocent from those creatures that inhabit the shadows and the night. And this is an MGM release here. And to be honest, I've never watched this, but late at night when cable was a thing, I'd always see an episode of this, and it looked interesting, it looked intriguing. A horror series, which I've always kind of liked. Friday the 13th, they had a series, Tales of the Dark Side, so this seemed a little bit more continuous. And I believe I picked it up on eBay for like maybe 20, 25 bucks tops. But can't wait to get into this and see if it's actually decent though. But again, just one example of watching things online and seeing how prices go. And my first tip, as far as getting your best bang for the buck, one of your best tools you can use when you're out in the wild, pawn shops, record shops, is your smartphone. Normally when I'm looking at a movie, if it's at a specific price, I'll look on eBay, look on Amazon, see how many copies there are, see if there are any copies, see how much they cost, and if it's in line with what I'm looking at. If I can get it cheaper online, I'll put it back. If it's way different, I'll go ahead and buy it on the spot wherever I'm at, pawn shop, record shop, or whatever. So my first pick for hard to find rare DVDs and Blu-rays, Poltergeist: The Legacy, all 4 seasons. My next pick is the 1987 comedy romance, Blind Date. This was directed by Blake Edwards. I believe he did some of the Pink Panther movies, the earlier ones. Produced by Tony Adams. Written by Dale Launer. This stars Kim Basinger, Bruce Willis, John Larroquette, William Daniels, George Coe, Phil Hartman, Mark Blum, Joyce Van Patten. Those are most of the big names. The plot behind this: when a bachelor, Walter Davis, is set up with his sister-in-law's pretty cousin, Nadia Gates, a seemingly average blind date turns into a chaotic night on the town. And I won't go into more about this. I believe I paid maybe $20, $25 for this. This is the Blu-ray, the DVD. DVDs actually got in the pawn shop. Might have paid like 50 cents for that. This, about $20, $25, a little bit more. My second tip for, again, collecting movies, getting your money's worth, obtain a good app. This is the app that I use to track all my movies, CLZ Movies app. I'm not saying you have to use this one. I think there's plenty of other ones. I just happened to get this one. I was grandfathered in, so I don't have to pay any kind of monthly fee. And if your collection gets to a certain size, right now I have about 11,000 movies, so it's pretty crazy to try to remember all the ones, all the formats that you have, especially when you're out in the store. So my second tip, get you a really good movie app so you can track all your movies, so you're out in the store, you know what you have and you know what you don't have. So my next pick, or this pick, is an RLJ release, Blind Date. My next rare out-of-print pick is the 2003 fantasy horror mystery thriller, Darkness Falls. This was directed by Jonathan Liebsman, produced by Lou Arkoff, written by John Fasano. This stars Channel Clee, Emma Caulfield, Lee Cormie, Grant Pyro, and Sullivan Stapleton. The plot behind this: a vengeful spirit has taken the form of the Tooth Fairy to extract vengeance on the town that lynched her 150 years earlier. Her only opposition is the only child, now grown up, who has survived her before. And it's not a great horror movie though, but it's entertaining. And I had a DVD of this, and a lot of times I'm just looking to upgrade to Blu-ray and didn't realize this is really hard to find. So I think I waited maybe 6 months, just pricing it at the right price. I think I could pay like $30, $35 for it. So it might go for that a little bit more right now. This is a image release. And my number 3 pick, I highly recommend watching the movie before you run out and get it, especially if it's a new release, a steelbook, something on the more expensive side. I like to stream the movies, see them live in the theaters, unless it's something I just really know I'm going to like. You know, normally I like to watch the movie before I actually purchase it, especially if it's a higher price item. That way, if the movie's not that great, you're not going to be that inclined to run out and pay $30, $35, $40 for a movie that's just so-so. So my number 3 pick, or my number 3 tip, watch the movie if possible before you go out and buy it. My next rare out-of-print pick is the 2008 comedy Chocolate News, directed by Liz Planca, produced by Vicky Amal Prieto, written by Fax Bayer. This stars David Allen Greer, Chris Tallman, Tangi Ambrose, Jordan Peele, Alfonso Macaulay, Gary Anthony Williams, Lunel Campbell, E.E. Bell. Those are the big names of the ones. Oh, Keegan-Michael Key, Tommy Lister, Mo Collins. And this is David Allen Greer host this urban learning parody of magazine show News. Corresponding are these sketch comedians. And I believe I paid like 35, 40 bucks. And I can't remember if this was an eBay auction or not, but I did purchase it on eBay. Haven't watched this though, but I like David Alan Grier. I'm a fan of sketch comedy. He is a product of In Living Color, which is one of the most remarkable sketch comedy shows, right up there with Saturday Night Live. So happy to have this in the collection. This is a Comedy Central Olive One release. So again, it's out of print. My number 4 tip for getting the most bang for your buck: pawn shops, used record shops, thrift shops, Goodwill, Salvation Army. Those are where you get your best deals. Specifically at pawn shops. If you find a pawn shop that gets movies on a regular basis, make it a habit to visit those weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, every couple of months, just to see what they have. And what's cool about that is, depending on how they move their movies, you'll always find something, at least 1 or 2 movies every trip or every other trip. And don't be afraid to ask for bargains, especially if you're buying more than one copy. If you're buying several DVDs, several Blu-rays, ask, can I get a break if I get 4 or 5? The worst they can tell you is no. I don't know how many deals I've brokered just asking, and they're like, yeah. And the one that I go to on a weekly basis, Cash America, they've seen me there every week. If I buy 1 or 2 movies, they're like 50 cents, 25 cents a pop, and I don't have cash, they'll just tell me to take them. So my number 4 tip, find where the best deals are in your area. If you find one shop that has a lot of good stuff, frequent that. Let them know who you are. They'll know who you are. It's like Cheers, like Norm, whatever your name is, and you'll get the most bang for your buck. So, chocolate news. My next rare print is a special import 3D of the 1958 Universal Studios mystery romance thriller Vertigo. This is directed by my man Alfred Hitchcock, produced by Herbert Coleman, written by Alex Koppel. This stars James Stewart, Kim Novak, Barbara Bel Geddes, Tom Helmore, Henry Jones. The plot behind this: a retired San Francisco detective suffering from acrophobia investigates the strange activities of an old friend's wife, all the while becoming dangerously obsessed with her. And love this movie, one of Alfred Hitchcock's masterpieces. I believe I got this on eBay for about 35, 40 bucks. Goes for much more than that right now. 3D is not bad. Again, I love Alfred Hitchcock. A lot of movies are based on Vertigo. But my number 5 tip is kind of dealing with eBay. A really good way to get the movie that you want at the lowest price are eBay auctions. A lot of times what I'll do is, if I'm interested in a movie, I'll save it in my cart, and I'll have a save notification. So every time a new listing comes up, I get notified. And sometimes those listings are eBay auctions. And I have a pretty good record for eBay auctions. I probably win about 45%. A lot of the ones that I lose are about really stupid people. For example, if I can get this on Amazon for 40 bucks and the eBay auction starts out at $10 and some idiot bids $50, I just throw the bid off, so there's no need for me to bid anymore. So when you have stupid people doing stupid shit like that, they get stupid prices. They pay more than what they have to. But number 5 tip for, again, getting the most bang for your buck, eBay auctions. And my next rare pick, Vertigo 3D. And my last rare out of pick is the Star/Anchor Bay 1996 comedy Girl 6. This was directed by Spike Lee, produced by John, I believe it's Killick, written by Susan Lloyd Parks. This stars Teresa Randall, Isaiah Washington, Spike Lee, Jennifer Lewis, Debbie Mazar, Dina Perlman, Deborah Wilson, Naomi Campbell, and Madonna is also in here. The plot behind this: a struggling actress in New York City takes a job as a phone sex operator. And I believe I also got this one on eBay for $20. And I can easily see someone like Shout Factory, Kino, maybe Vinegar Syndrome picking this up and putting this on a Blu-ray. Fantastic soundtrack. Prince did the soundtrack for this. So I think Vanity 6 is on here. I can't remember everything though, but it's an outstanding soundtrack. Anchor Bay release. And again, I can easily see this getting the Blu-ray release. But my number 6 tip, patience. I've waited probably over a year for years for a movie to get down a certain price. And unless you're just like, you just have to have it, your life is not going to be complete without having it, especially if there's multiple copies on eBay and Amazon. Wait. Just wait. Unless, if you really want to see it, half the time you can stream it though. But if you want to save the most amount of money and get the movies that you like, the physical copies, get more bang for your buck, wait, be patient. Eventually, that movie's going to come down to your price. You might find it at a pawn shop. You might find it at a thrift store. You might get it in an eBay auction. You might just see this weird listing where people do sometimes where it's at an extremely low price. Jump on it then. So my number 6 tip, patience is a virtue. And my number 7 tip, which I think is the most important, budget. Set yourself a budget on how much you can afford to spend on movies, weekly, monthly, whatever it might be. It might be $5. If you got like that, it might be $500. If your budget's only $5 a month or a week, go to the pawn shop. For $5, you get possibly 5 to 10 movies, DVDs, or maybe 2 or 3 Blu-rays. So stay within your budget. Also, set like a little emergency movie fund aside, just in case that movie you've been waiting for finally gets down to the price that you want. You can go out and get that movie. Now, these are my 6 hard to find out of print movies. If you made it this far in the video, smash a like, give me the big thumbs up. If you have your own tips, please leave it in the comments. If you have your own rare out of print movies, please leave it in the comments. Other than that, and yeah, subscribe. Other than that, may the best of your past be the worst of your future. Everyone, please be safe. Deuces, and be smart.